Hi, it's David at Art David Smith. So this week on the art challenge was mythical creatures. So what I'm going to do, starting with, just do a loose, it's nearly like a potato shape, I guess. So starting with my potato shape, I'm going to draw a giant for the mythical creatures. Now, obviously when you're drawing a giant it's all relative. As long as you draw the surroundings smaller than the guy, he's always going to look like a giant, so just bear that in mind if you're doing one yourself. So take our potato and start putting some features into him. So again, stay tuned until the end of the video to see all your artwork for this week. Some fantastic pieces again. So thank you again for those who have entered, and if you can get any other your friends and family involved, all the better. That'll be fantastic for next week. So we'll start to take our potato now. Give him a bit of a grumpy looking expression. As I've mentioned in other videos, what I try and do when I'm coming up with a character like this is imagine him in some sort of scenario, so as to what would he be doing so as you'll see when I'm doing this drawing, to get him across as being a giant, I'm going to have him causing havoc amongst the locals. So some big old arms on him here. So hopefully you're all looking after yourselves and keeping busy during the lockdown. And hopefully the art challenges are all helping to pass some time at least, so you're not getting too bored. Bit of a belly going on. And again, what I'll do is when I ink it in, all these scrappy lines, what I'm kind of throwing in, probably a lot darker than I would normally. Again, I'll clean them all up and I start using the fine liner. And tidy the whole picture up. So this giant is loosely based on a character I came up with several years ago whilst I was throwing a book together, which I've been trying to finish for, blimey, 20 odd years now, but I always get distracted or always restart it, so it always seems to be one of those pieces that never gets any further. Some buttons on the top. So what I'm doing with this guy is he's quite a simple drawing, this one, so not lots of detail. so that's why it's nice and quick. But what it does show you is, again with a relatively simple shape, so in this it was a bit of a potato shape that we started with, you can turn them around and make all sorts of characters with them, and it's a really good starting point. So there we have our giant. Now at the moment you might be thinking, well, he's not looking very giant sized, so what I'm going to do is make him giant sized. As I mentioned at the beginning, as long as you put him into context, then he'll become giant sized all kind of by himself. So it all should start to become a little clearer in a moment. Bit of grass at his feet. And what we've got here is a little thatched cottage, something to live in, and this giant's come along and he's kind of leaning on the house and causing it to break. Bit of darkness there. So garden path. I can put a bit of detail on the actual building now. Chimney on here as well. So now, because we've got an item, well, obviously a cottage in regards to a human's quite large, smoke coming up out the chimney. We've now put the giant in context, so in comparison to the house he's looking massive. So what I'll do is, when I'm colouring this in as well, I'm going to have some shade in there. So what we're kind of doing as well is folding the house as if it's crumpling like it's cardboard. So got some large cracks forming in the roof, along the side of the walls. Trees in the garden. Having shade underneath, and then what we need to do is again put them into some sort of context. So we're going to have this little guy down here shouting some abuse or something, because the giant's obviously come along and crushed his house. So I'll play around with this anyway. Put a bit of background in there again. So this is kind of how I would rough out one of my drawings. I was doing something like this. You can have some sort of speech bubble coming from him. We can be shouting at the giant as well. But again, very quickly now, we've taken the giant, very simple giant in this respect, but as soon as we put him into context, so that he's got a house there that he's crushing, and we've got the little dude here shouting some abuse at him, all of a sudden he becomes a giant because of the scenario we've now put him in. So again, what I will do is I will start inking this guy up as per usual. I'll clean him all up, put a bit more background in and things like that, and then obviously I'll put it all together at the end along with your pictures at the end of the video. So thanks again for those people who've subscribed this week. Thank you for entering the art challenge. I need to pick a new subject out of the hat, but I will get back to you on that as to what the new subject is. But keep watching, keep drawing and keep subscribing. Thank you very much. Catch you next time and look after yourselves. Bye bye.